Hello fellow guitar geeks and welcome to 2021. We made it, and what better way to celebrate than by checking out some brand new guitars. In this video, we've got a world exclusive first look at the Ibanez 2021 catalogue. So you're going to see some video clips from Martin Miller playing his brand new model. You're going to see this, the FGM 300, which I actually have in the studio and I'll be making a review video of very, very soon. And you'll see a rundown of almost all, of the brand new models from Ibanez, and I'll explain why almost all in the video. So, I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's about an hour and a half, but it is worth every second. Please give it up for my friend Dan from Ibanez.
Hello and welcome to the Guitar Stories.
It's not a podcast. No, not today. But we probably should promote our podcast, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
tell the people of the channel what we do every Tuesday.
Well, we meet at around 8:30, give or take, and do the Guitar Stories podcast. So we talk about amazing guitar stories from various people, and that's lovely because it's such a happy place for us. We talk about beautiful instruments, we talk about gear news, and it's like 90 to 120 minutes well spent.
Maybe, yeah, 120 if we're lucky, because we hang out for far too long. But it is live on Tuesdays on this YouTube channel. Also, you can download it and listen to it wherever you want to from your regular iTunes or whatever you get your podcast from. But that's the Guitar Stories podcast. This is not an official Guitar Stories podcast episode. We're here to talk Ibanez 2021, Dan.
Yeah.
I haven't used the word exclusive yet. This is an exclusive, right?
Well, I'm not talking to anyone else, so yeah, I think so.
So we've got a rather snazzy setup today in the fact that we have like a interactive PDF of the catalogue from 2021, which no one else has seen. And obviously we're recording this in 2020 because we don't work on the 1st of January. So you watching this are amongst the first people in the world outside of Ibanez to see this.
Yes. Great, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it also. Obviously, Dan's seen it because he's been working on it. I have only seen the first page to set it up. So I guess, without further ado, Dan, we should check out this catalogue, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so here is the front page. Look at that. What a front page. Let's dive in, shall we? So I'm going to click through this document here. Ibanez electric guitars. Already, I'm intrigued. So that's some AZs?
Yeah. But these are just like old models.
We don't want old, we want new. Let's go to the next page. Okay, signature models. Right. Which ones of these are new, Dan?
Well, these are indicated by the little red indicator that says new model on the right side. Yeah. And for instance,
there we go.
the FRM 300. Yeah, that is new.
Hang on, Dan, before we go any further. I have one of those. Wait a minute, I'll pick it up.
Wow.
And seamlessly, here it is. Dan, talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, that's the FRM 300. It's the successor of the FRM 200. And a lot of people have been longing for this guitar because actually the purple FRM, the purple Fireman, is the guitar that Paul is playing like since years already. Like it's been when he was playing at Guitar Summit, he used this guitar. When he was at Martin Miller's place for the sessions, he used this guitar. So finally we have his purple FRM, and the Fireman comes with some cool specs like the DiMarzio PG13 mini humbuckers in neck, middle, and bridge position. We have a Okume body. It's a very cool mahogany equivalent wood that's been used widely, even on high-end guitars from other manufacturers. We have a 3-piece Okume maple set in neck, so it's very comfy. If you want to turn it around, you can see that it's got seamless access to the highest frets. And yeah, it's just like a performance animal. It's a very nice guitar.
I've not plugged it in yet, Dan, believe it or not. I did an unboxing earlier this week. What I have to say about this guitar, the neck feels amazing. I'm a huge Paul Gilbert fan, as you know, and if you listen to the podcast, you know I talk about him all the time. Let's just get a quick shot of the guitar, a little bit bigger. There we go, just so people can see it a little bit bigger. What's the fretboard on this? I wanted to ask you.
That should be Macassar ebony. So it's bound.
Ebony. Yeah,
Macassar ebony.
Oh man, so I dig it. It's kind of silly of me doing a review because I'm just going to say this is brilliant. And that's my review. But unless, of course, it isn't when I plug it in. But I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I hope so. That's a nice one.
I'm just going to put it down for a second. We can move on.
That is the new MM7, and I'm absolutely delighted that Martin receives his second signature guitar. And a lot of people have been asking for AZs with 7 strings. So it took some time because, basically all the parts of the AZ line, they are proprietary Ibanez stuff. So all the hardware had to be redesigned for 7 strings. And the special feature about the AZ7s, and I think we'll cover that later too, is that the neck is not necessarily thicker. So it's got the same thickness, it's just a little bit wider. So you kind of keep that that feel and that immediate broken in feeling, and you immediately feel home on those necks. And the 7-string basically captures that same vibe and captures that same feel. And the MM7 is something special because, like its sibling, the MM1, it is the sole AZ guitar that comes with a mahogany body and a flame maple top. And it also comes, of course, in the transparent aqua blue finish that the MM1 is already renowned for. So yeah, excited to have it.
It looks gorgeous. I've not really delved into 7-string world yet, but I think that would be a very comfortable guitar with which to try that out. It doesn't seem too monstrous, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Shall we give it a listen?
I'd love to have a little listen. We've got Martin on video, haven't we?
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This guitar will not be available before, I think, May. So it was super short notice. Like, he received it literally just a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then he approved it, and now it's going into production.
Hey Dan, I really like the look of that AZ2204N. Look at that.
Yeah.
Would be great if maybe I got one of those into review at some point, wouldn't it? So I've got my AZ behind me. It's just there. And genuinely, it's one of my favorite guitars. If you watch the channel, if you listen to the podcast, you know that I don't get paid every time to say I love it, but I absolutely do love that guitar. What is new about the new models?
Whoa, a lot, because it's the AZ2204N, and in the end stands for so many things like natural or non-recessed tremolo, which already gives away one of the key specs. So this is a AZ model for the more, let's say, classic-oriented player, for the player that doesn't need to do the wibbly, wibbly, wibbly. So we have no trem cavity, so basically the tremolo sits flat on the body. And this actually improves sustain quite a bit, because like all the vibration goes through the whole body. So that's pretty interesting. We have, and this is a first, a compound radio fretboard. So at the nut, it's a little bit more curved, and the more you go down the neck, it's flatter. So this allows for easy fretting when you play like basic rhythm chords, and when you do the lead stuff and fast lines and you go up and higher the neck, then it will be much easier, especially also for bending. And also one of the key features for these guitars are new pickups. So Ibanez teamed up again with Seymour Duncan to develop the Seymour Duncan Fortuna pickups. More natural, basically, sounding. It's not as overdriven as the Hyperion pickups, which for some people is like just what they were looking for. But especially if you're playing some lead and jazzy, funky tones, I think the Fortuna pickups might be more your cup of tea.
That's a very exciting guitar, but you failed to mention the main improvement you've made in the AZ line. And I know you know that I know what that is. Look at that pick guard.
Tell me.
Oh, taut pick guard.
Yeah. So for the people that are not enlightened, why Andy is so excited about the pick guard, he always tells me that the perloid pick guards on the AZs look like toilet seats. Not very nice, but I get it. So some people don't really like that kind of perloid. So now we go with tortoise shell style.
Oh my goodness. Okay. There is more 7-string AZ.
Yeah, there you go.
Sticking with AZs at the moment. Dan, talk us through the first one, please, mate.
Yeah, we have like 2 options for 7-string players for 2021. And both have 24 frets. The first one is the AZ24027, which is the tri-fade burst flat finish version of the AZ7. It comes with Hyperion 7 pickups, and the rest is basically the same specs as the 6-string AZ, but with the unique neck. And I've stressed that previously when we've been talking about the Martin Miller. This neck feel is amazing, and if you like the AZ 6-string, then you will immediately fall in love with the AZ 7-string. So no doubt about that. And we have like 2 offerings for the beginning. So we have a dual humbucker version in tri-fade burst flat, and if you scroll down a little bit, then we will see the AZ 24047, which has an HSS configuration, so Hyperion bridge pickup, and 2 Hyperion 7 singles in the middle and neck position. And because, 7-string players are usually the ones that just do the wit across the whole neck, so they need 2 full octaves, so we decided we go with 24 frets on both models. Because usually the HSS models on the AZ line, they have only 22 frets. Yeah.
Right, looks great. Let's go back to the first one for a sec, because I was listening to you and not looking at the pictures. So this has the original style trem system, is that right?
Yeah, correct. That's a recessed trem system, so it's not like on the AZN models that it's flat on the body. So it's recessed, so it goes in both directions. And apart from that, like it's basically the same features as on the AZ6 models. Yeah, and these guitars clock in at 2.2K, so 2,199 euros. So a little bit more expensive than the regular ones, but you get some. Not just the low B. An extra string, yeah. More
2 more frets?
Yeah, correct. 2 more frets and 1 more string.
And the black pickguard. And no pickguard.
No pickguard, yeah. All right. More new models.
More new models. Yeah. Let me click away. There we go. Let's bring it up on the screen. Made in Japan. Can I announce this one? The RG532OC.
Correct.
That's a killer color.
An addition. Yeah, deep forest green metallic. And whenever we're talking about green in Ibanez land, it often is a little bit more,
very blue?
Towards blue. Yeah, very blue. And it's the same here. So it's another addition to the RG5000 line. And these guitars have been designed to appeal to the modern guitar player, not necessarily just a shredder, but someone who's looking for like modern tones. So the RG5000s, they all come with modern pickups, and this one is a little bit of an exception because it goes back to the more original configuration of the Marzio Air Norton tone zones in the bridge and neck pickup, but with covers. So basically we have the modern looks, but we have a little more of a, let's say, classical tone, like classic Ibanez tone. No. Apart from that, it's basically a no-frills rock and shred guitar, a 5-piece neck, African mahogany body, quite lightweight. You've got stainless steel frets, which is always a pro because they don't wear down, and low pro edge trem. So yeah, very cool addition, cool color. I like it.
Yeah, it looks good. It's the least green guitar I've ever seen in my life, though. That's very close to like a Pelham blue. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that very much. You're going to get some very confused people there, Dan. me included.
And just for the sake of completion, this guitar retails for 2,100 euros. Ta-da! Wow. Several new models.
Okay, where do you want to go first?
Let's do the 5170 just quickly, because it's basically it looks like another just black guitar. But it's pretty cool because it's got HSH configuration of Fishman Fluence pickups. And what is also quite a deviation from what you usually get in the market is that we have an Alnico in the neck position, and we've got a ceramic in the bridge position.
Ah.
So a little bit more, let's say, more moderate output.
Sure.
In the neck position, and like the beefy high gain pickup in the bridge position. And what's so cool about this guitar is that it not only has gold hardware, but it also sports a kind of reddish, kind of tortoise shell binding. It's a little bit more red than just like tortoise shell, but it's a very nice contrast to the black body. And unfortunately, you don't see it on this very picture, but once you see this guitar in the flesh, it's pretty amazing. So it's some added bling to this model.
Where is the binding? Is it up on the headstock as well, or?
It's on the headstock, it's on the neck, and it's on the body. So it's pretty wicked.
Awesome. That's very interesting. Like something that maybe the player can see, but the audience maybe not so much. That's nice to keep a little bit back for yourself.
We have a new color that you see, 5121, and this is called Burgundy Metallic Flat. And we had the RG5121 already last year in Dark Tide Blue Flat, and now we have a second model, new finish.
That looks very familiar, Dan.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe I should go and get it. I have one of these, right?
Yeah.
I was very confused when I took it at the box. Not confused, intrigued. When I took it at the box, I thought it was black, and it comes in this beautiful case with a red lining, and I wasn't sure if it was black and the red was showing, reflecting off the black body. And then I took it out, and it was this rather gorgeous burgundy metallic flat, as Ibanez are calling it.
That is great. Yeah.
Of course, I've got a full video coming for this, but first word I think could come with is quality. It feels absolutely as a quality instrument should. It's hard to put into words, which is my job. What I feel about this guitar, it's like you're given a guitar that's perfectly set up, perfectly built, and all you need to know is if it's your style. I'm going to go back to the main picture for a second. If it's the style that you enjoy and it sounds like what you want to sound like, then that is a kick-ass guitar.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love
and like I said, color. it's got all the modern specs. So if you're like a modern player, you want modern tones, but you want that like renowned and already well-established feel of a Ibanez RG guitar, then you go for the RG5000 series. And you've got like a 5-piece neck made of maple and wenge. You've got a Makassar ebony fretboard, jumbo stainless steel frets with prestige fret edge treatment, and this is quite a main part of why it feels immediately home once you take it out of the case. Of course, a mahogany body, so very like well-rounded tone. Fishman Fluence modern ceramic pickups in neck and bridge position, and a Gibraltar standard bridge, so no fuzz with the tremolo or anything. You just take it out of the case and you can play. So that's
very pretty. I really like the look. I think that you've nailed the look. I love this. I don't know what to call it. It's like a dark chrome. What's the correct term for the color of the bridge? It's a black chrome or something.
Let me check. Do I know? Cosmo black. I think on this one.
Black. Yeah, it looks great because it's the little subtleties that I like about this guitar. Again, I haven't plugged it in yet, but the locking tuners made me smile instantly. And now that you've said this had the Prestige fret treatment,
it
feels like there are no frets. So when you're holding like this, normally you feel a bit of resistance. It feels like there are no frets. So I can feel that if there are any shredders out there, you need to try this one. That's going to be fun. So, of course, check out my review of it, but I'm not that much of a shredder, so I'll be probably putting it through a fuzz pedal and saying nice things about the color. But yeah, that's a killer guitar. I'm very, very impressed with that, Dan.
It's also, I think, price-wise, it's very competitive. This one clocks in at $1,800.
Oh, wow.
So you get made in Japan quality, plus the Fishman pickups, so it's not at all overpriced. So it's really, you get what you pay for, and this is a lot.
Let's move on to the limited model, Dan.
Yeah, that is the RG6P KAG. And as soon as I took that out of the case, it was like, all right, that looks like a RG-inspired Rep Beach model. That's super cool. Do you remember the old Voyager designs from Rep Beach?
No, I don't.
No, they had kind of a cut... Like when we had the last episode, the Guitar Stores podcast episode, we had that PRS guitar that was missing some parts of the body.
Yes.
Right behind the tremolo. And the Red Beach models were actually designed that way. So Ibanez built them for a very limited time. And there was a specific, the Red Beach model in Koa. And that reminds me a lot of that, because also those guitars had EMG pickups. And this limited edition model is one of the few guitars that comes with EMG pickups for our 2021 lineup. Of course, talking about 80s, early 90s, it comes with EMG 81 in the bridge and EMG SA in the middle and neck position. We have an original edge tremolo like you would buy in the late 80s or early 90s. It's also got modern specs like Jazzcar Evo Gold frets. And yeah, it's just like a full package for a, let's say, glam rock oriented player, or just a player who's looking for a Koa guitar, because the Koa veneer is actually super pretty.
It looks like if a guitar player was playing in the 80s and had something that was wild colors, such as the 550s just up there, maybe that player grew up a little bit and wants those tones, wants that feel, but can't get away with playing a fluorescent-looking guitar anymore because of their age. That's the guitar, because it's a grown-up's guitar, that one, at least in appearance to me.
Yeah, you can play a wedding or a funeral with
exactly.
it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just change the lights, and suddenly it's green. Yeah, I dig that, Ben.
Correct. Yeah.
Alrighty. Lots of heavier looking guitars here. I've never played an Axion label. Never played an iron label.
How can that be?
I was so intrigued. A couple of years ago, I think it was even that RG60 ALS. Hang on. Whoops. That one there. I'd never seen anything like it. I still haven't played an Axion or an iron label, so I hope to change that in 2021. And speaking of changes in 2021, nice podcast little transition there, Andy. Thank you. The RG6, that's an elf, as in alien life form. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm in the way of the...
from Melmac.
Yeah, from Melmac. Lock up your cats.
Yeah, again, it's like a very reduced 6-string. It comes with a super cool flip-flop blue chameleon finish, which changes from purple to blue to greenish. It's pretty wicked. It reminded me a lot of a competitor's color that was called Mystic Dream. And apart from that, like, again, modern specs. The Axion label series is about like modern specs at a affordable price. So these are not made in Japan; they are made in Indonesia. But they have like all the bells and whistles you would expect for a stage-ready guitar. They come with a super fast 5-piece Nitro Wizard neck, Niato body, which is quite lightweight, Makassar Ebony fretboard. We have Sub-Zero treated frets, so they are frozen down to make them more durable. So it's not as sturdy, and also not you're not getting that shimmer that some people like and some people criticize about stainless steel frets. But these are nickel frets that are that received some coolness treating. So they have been Sub-Zero treated, like cooled down to, I don't know, minus X degrees, and then back again. So they are kind of hardened and super durable. Yeah. Then we have that interesting combination of a fluent ceramic pickup in the bridge and an El Nico pickup in the neck position. And we've got luminescent side dot inlays. We've got a luminescent Ibanez logo. So it's a pretty nice touch when you're on stage and that Ibanez logo glows in the dark.
Nice. Did you give a price on these yet?
Not yet. These are $950.
Okay.
So the Alf guitar, if you want to take a trip to Melmac, it's $950.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, please Google ALF and 80s old people. So that's gorgeous.
Shout out to Willie Tenor and the Tenor family.
A 9-string. I played that guitar once. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's my review.
How many people want to see a 9-string guitar review on Andy's channel? Leave a comment below.
Oh, no. Do you know what, Dan? That sounds so expensive. So expensive.
All right.
Ooh,
what else
hello.
do we have here?
Hello, we've got a couple of new models.
Yeah. So last year we had the RG11 series in the premium range, and Poplar has been very popular among people. So we decided to apply. Oh, I'm very sorry. That was, I know.
How long have you been waiting for this page?
Well,
46 minutes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so it's like, again, it's a no frills guitar. It's RG421. So the 421 already indicates it's got no pickguard, and it's got a fixed bridge, quantum pickup. So these are Ibanez OEM pickups. They are fairly good. Not the best in the world, of course, because we have to hit a certain price point there, but they are fairly good. So if you go on stage with those, you ain't gonna, end up in a disaster with squealing pickups and anything like that. the best part of this is basically like really it's a very sturdy like kind of bones guitar. So if you purchase this guitar and you add a few or tweak a few things, it's a very, very solid guitar that you can use for as a backup or even as a main guitar if you're a beginner or intermediate player. Because it's got a fast Wizard 3 neck, which is not too fat but also not too thin. It's got a Marante body, which is rather lightweight with a poplar pearl veneer on top. You've got jumbo frets, so it feels very comfy. And like I said, the pickups, they are absolutely okay. So there's like I said, it's a good bones guitar. If there's anything you don't like about the guitar, it's pretty easy to swap that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying your honesty, Dan. I have to interrupt you there because you said the pickups are quite okay. You know, I know we're marketing here, you know, for Ibanez. That's your job, and that's what we're doing right now, presenting the new models. But it's nice to hear some honesty from someone in the business for not saying these are the world's best pickups for only this price.
Well, you always have to take it into relation with price and quality. And for us, I mean, like I said, the actual bones of the guitars are more important than the binding or I don't know, maybe adding fancy names to the pickups. So these are like I said, these are the Quantum pickups. They're good. They're not the best of the world. But like I said, they are stage ready, so you ain't gonna have any issues going live. But if you develop some ear and if you develop some preference tone wise, I think there will definitely be a point where you just want to swap the pickups.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There's another one there, right? Just underneath.
Yeah, it's RG421G. That's pretty similar. It comes with maple neck. There's just a plain body, but it's got the cool laser blue matte finish. Mm. So that's also a winner. And I didn't mention the price for the Caribbean Shoreline flat one. That clocks in at $399, and the laser blue matte is even $369. So I think at close to $400 or below $370, you ain't gonna make a mistake by purchasing one of these guitars.
No, that's what are the tuners like on this? I haven't played on these yet.
These are non-locking tuners, but they are kind of they are very precise. So you don't have a lot of action until they get some grip. So you don't have to turn them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
there's not too much play in the tuner.
Correct. Yeah, not too much play. So they're rather precise and quick in responding to the turns. So this is what I really like about these. Yeah.
Okay, so that really is stage ready, because that's something that you can't get away with even at a relatively low price.
Yeah. But that's again, good. At the beginner, and that's also what we talked about in the podcast episode, you have to know how to restring the guitar. So don't underwound or don't overwound the tuning pegs, because both can cause some tuning issues.
Beautiful. I just have to look at that sparkly one. I know that's not new, but
turquoise sparkle. Yeah.
So green again. Yeah. But yeah, that's beautiful. I need some more sparkle guitars in my life. Okay, moving on.
Please.
I like that we're entering we have entered a more affordable range now, because these are the ones that really excite me, the sort of mid-range guitars, because of course the Martin Miller Signature, for example, is a beautiful instrument, but it may be out of reach for many of us. So I think this is where Ibanez really delivers some great products, when you still get, as you said, that the bare bones, basic, good, reliable instrument, but maybe you want to change the pickups. You're cutting costs in the right places.
Yep.
All right, I'm drawn straight to the RG320 EXZ or EXZ. Talk us through that, Dan.
Now, again, another very basic model, and for this time we've added a black flat finish, so it's non-glossy, so it gets less fingerprints on it. Again, we have a rather beefy Wizard 3 maple neck. I mean, it's not a baseball bat, but it's also not super thin, so it's very comfy, especially as a beginner. We have, again, a Marante body. We have a bound Jatoba fretboard with white dots. Again, the Quantum pickups. And for this guitar, we have an Edge 02 tremolo bridge. So this is a very, very good and a serious tremolo. It's not like, we've been talking about entry-level guitars, and usually at a certain price point, you say, okay, at that price point, you probably don't want to look into having a tremolo guitar and rather go for a fixed bridge to avoid any kind of issues. But especially with this guitar with the Edge 02, I think that's a very good starting point. I mean, the guitar doesn't come cheap. It clocks in at $500.
Okay.
But for those $500, like I said, you get a serious guitar and a serious tremolo that you can work with, and you can enjoy that tremolo. It's not a pain in the ASS.
In the AZZ. You can have that one for next year's catalogue. That actually makes me happy, because I know when we're looking at the more affordable range, and this is when I get excited, as you can tell. I'm a bit more involved now, because the other ones were like, okay, that's cool, but I personally couldn't afford it. With these guitars, it makes me happy that you haven't made it $300 or $400. You need to be spending a bit more if you're going to put one of those Edge tremolo systems on there. And so that's one of the times where I think you need to spend more money, is playing with one of those style of locked trem systems. You can't go cheap on that. You'll pay for it in the end.
Absolutely. And basically, that's also one of the main questions. A lot of people, they acquire a lot of super cheap guitars, but often instead of buying like 200 euros guitars, I think you're often better off buying like one guitar in the 1,000 euro range, or maybe like $500 instead of 150 or 200. Because the increase in quality is quite steep at the very beginning, and also it diminishes after like a price point of 2 to 2.5K. Then it's a very little surplus on quality for a lot of money that you have to put on top.
But with more expense, you can get more strings. 2 more, to be precise.
That was a very, very smooth transition, actually.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, Ibanez is the king of metal guitars, and this is like the core position that we want to protect and defend every single year. And since we've been releasing 9 strings and 8 strings for like ages, we also want to, create some excitement with these models. And for this year, the ADF in iron pewter comes with super cool white pickups. So we have Fishman Fluence Alnico in the neck and the ceramic 8 in the bridge position. We have gold hardware, and apart from that, like, it's a no frills guitar. We've got a Wizard 2 bolt-on neck, a 5-piece maple walnut neck, if I'm not mistaken, and a what's the body? A Marante body again. Yeah. So yeah.
What is the price on that one, sir?
The 8-string clocks in at $899. So $100 per string plus $99 for the gold hardware.
What is that? I'm testing your knowledge now. I know you know a lot, but is that the cheapest 8-string Ibanez offer?
If you are not in the multi-scale, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because when you said $899, right? That for me seems like the most affordable. We know cheap is a dirty word. The most affordable. So I see a brand new model here. Let's go straight to it. Right at the top, it's another RG. Danielson.
Yeah. This time it's the RGA. So these stand for arc top. So they have an arched top that's more like, it's not flat. So it provides some more curvature to it. So a little bit more like a ALP style guitar, basically. Mm-hmm. What is so special about the HP series? It's the name is high performance. So these guitars are designed to provide you like not just the most bang for the buck, but also like the best performance. So basically, it's not necessarily designed to just be flashy and stylish. It's more designed to provide like the ultimate performance, like to be a stage guitar, and right out of the case you can gig with it. And the reason for that is, for instance, it features a roasted maple neck. So you don't have to adjust the neck back and forth. It's already pre-roasted, so it will stay almost perfectly, no matter what the humidity level or anything else is. It's got a Yatoba fretboard, jumbo frets, a lightweight Niado body with a quilted maple top, and it's got professional high-performance pickups, which are the DiMarzio Fusion Edge pickups. And it's quite a criteria of quality that you can find these pickups on, let's say, J Custom guitars that clock in at like 4,000 or 5,000 euros, and you can find them on the RGA 42 HP and other high-performance models that are in the, let's say, 700 to 900 euros range. And this guitar that comes in blue iceberg gradation is a little bit more pricey because of the flashy top, because of the quilted maple. But again, at $899, you get a lot of specs for not too much money.
This is the same color, or the gradation, as the AZ, correct?
That is correct. You're a good one.
Hey,
Well
and
spotted,
I wasn't much of a fan of that finish on the AZ, but for some reason it works more for me on this. For me, that works. Because the finish is quite flashy. I thought it looked for me a little bit out of place on an AZ, because the AZ is like a classic looking guitar, whereas this is more modern looking. This looks like an AZ has gone into its teenage phase and started, body modifications and slimming down and going to the gym. It's got that nice little six-pack in the middle. I'm digging this, yeah.
Well, that's a very nice description. Also, I think what is also like visually appealing is the contrast of the quilted maple top in that gradation color, and then the natural inside of the horns. That kind of.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was shadow on the photo, but it's cut away, so it's
that kind of scoop that is in natural, So that's pretty cool. And like I said, $8.99. I think that's a lot of bang for the buck on this model.
Absolutely, it seems that way. I'm digging that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to ask. It looks like a guitar that should exist. Some guitars look like they've just been made new for the sake of making something new, but that's a pretty looking guitar with some great specs.
Yeah, I also think that would be a guitar that would fit well on your channel, because that's like a very reasonable price range, and again,
it's above that mid range, that sort of 300 to 500, but it does seem to be worth that kind of money from the specs alone and the look. What sort of music is that geared towards, do you think, with those pickups?
Well, I mean, Fusion Edge pickups, they are more into the hard and heavy genre, but I've heard a lot of cool music already been made with, those pickups that is not cutting edge, that is more like kind of funky or crunchy, or, rock, of course.
Sure.
A lot of people, they kind of pigeonhole those pickups to be just metal pickups, but that's definitely wrong. So if the bones of the guitar, if the body wood, I'm not saying tone wood, but if the body wood is of a good quality, I think
I had a little shiver then when you said tone wood.
Yeah. I think that the overall outcome will be pretty good, and the Fusion Edge pickups, they are very, very versatile. So they're not just for one genre only.
I'd like to hear some funk on that, but specifically with the coil tap switch. That must be...
All right.
Yeah.
Well, comment below the video and ask Andy to do a review on this guitar, and we'll make that happen.
Ask me
funk review on the RGA 42 HP.
Some Ferris funk.
Serious funk, yeah.
Right.
Nice.
A more RG. Oh, come on. Now we're talking. Right. Wizard 3 maple neck. Love it. What color is that?
That's called Black Aurora Burst Matte. And the BAM finish is pretty popular, and so we applied it on a more affordable model here. It was already on some of the Axiom label guitars with multi-scale, so we make it now accessible for the players that want a guitar below the €500 range. And this RGA 42EX clocks in at $399, comes with a Meranti body, Wizard 3 neck, again the quantum pickups, a fixed bridge, so it's a no-frills guitar for any kind of advanced player that's looking for a serious instrument with a super cool look.
So I have to ask, is it looks like form above function, or is that actually a well-playing guitar, do you think?
Well, that definitely is a well-playing guitar, because it's really like designed to please the player with that, especially the neck. I think the Wizard 3 neck is very friendly for beginners, because it offers you a little bit more meat. And spec-wise, it's just everything you could wish for as a beginner. I would have been lucky to receive an instrument at $399 when I started playing the guitar and was looking for my first serious instrument. And I think here you get a lot of cool looks with that Black Aurora Burst finish. And you've got very, very solid, rock-solid guitar. Yeah,
I agree. My first guitar was sort of one of those $199, including an amp package things. And then when I really outgrew that quite quickly, and I could afford it, I upgraded to like an Epiphone LP100, which was, I think, about $399 at the time. So I know prices change and times change, but that for me would have been my... It seems to me like maybe not a first guitar, because it is $399, and also the the color choice is quite out there. I don't know, maybe people have more money these days, but that's for me a guitar that you choose when you know you want to play guitar and you want to your guitar to look like that. You know, that's a good price for that kind of look. Should we go to the RGD, the 7-string?
Yeah, please.
Let me go for it. The RGDR4427FX.
Yeah.
I'm putting my resume in on Monday. Gonna get a job at Ibanez.
Well, that's basically an RGD guitar with a reversed headstock. And it's the successor of another very similar guitar that was debuted in early 2020 and that featured a Richlight top. So, Andy, you know Richlight from what?
From the Big G.
Where are they using it?
Normally
fretboards
on
only,
fretboards.
Right?
I don't even know if they do anymore, but Gibson have been using Richlight on fretboards. I remember there was a big kerfuffle about that.
Correct.
Mainly because people were uneducated about what Richlight was, and it seemed to be marketing rather than explaining what the wood was. Have Ibanez changed that?
Well, at least Ibanez has thought twice about where they wanted to use it, and because Richlight is not necessarily something to be doomed. It's a resin-infused kind of highly compressed paper that is very, very sturdy. So it's actually very resonant. I've got some coasters made of Richlight, and you can do that kind of pling on them, and they kind of resonate very well. But they've got a very unique tone to it, and so it's a very stiff material. So Ibanez thought about, okay, well, if it's very good to kind of get those kind of vibrations along, why are we not using that for a top to add some more precision to the tone, to make it even more cutting through the mix? And that's what I started with. And that RGDR from last year that exceeded our wildest expectations, because that was a guitar that was not inexpensive at all. It was above the 2K threshold, but it sold very well. And for this year, we added a fixed bridge version of it, which is a little bit less expensive, and it comes in a super cool blue Richlight finish. So this is what the RGDR4427FX is all about. And the FX stands for fixed bridge, and it comes in a nice natural flat finish. The bevel and also some of the curves of the neck, they are still in natural finish, and then you've got the Richlight top. So it's a very interesting combination, because you've got that ash body, which is a rather lightweight and kind of soft wood, and then you've got that very stiff Richlight top to it that is glued on top of the body. So that's pretty cool. And it comes with fusion edge pickups, so our preferred choice when it comes to hard and heavy, but not only, not just only metal and rock genre. Apart from that, Macassar ebony fretboard. I mean, I don't want to read out all the specs. I just want to really focus on what is so special about it. And those RGDRs, they come with a 26.5-inch scale, so that kind of extended range is already ideal for some kind of down tunings. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool guitar. And this one clocks in at $2,399. So it's a little bit less expensive than the previous model.
Okay, and there's only one knob on that. No tone, just volume?
Yeah, correct. That's all you need. I mean, you've got a mono bridge, so all the strings are separated, and you've got like a three-way switch and a volume.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I can't argue.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And below there you see the RGDR4327, which had a black top and a rather brown finish. So that's the predecessor of this guitar, and that's a guitar that I was talking about that sold very well. Okay. So we decided to add another new model.
I prefer the look of the new one. I think it's more contrasting with the lighter wood.
Yep, correct.
But purely from looks alone, I prefer the new one.
Cool. Yeah, glad you like it.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, lots of new stuff going on here. Let's power through. The RGD61 ALA. A-L-A.
ALA.
An Axiom label.
RGD again. Yeah, again, it's an RGD, so the kind of drop top guitar. It's a 6-string version. And we are again in the Axiom label range. So you got all the specs that I've been talking previously, like the Sub-Zero frets and the modern specs. And this guitar is a styler and a performer. So because you've got the Fishman Fluence pickups, and again, it's an Alnico ceramic combination. So best of both worlds, of a more like vintage-oriented or classic-oriented tone and the cutting-edge tone at the bridge position. It's got a monorail bridge for ideal string separation, especially if you detune it. And it's got a slightly extended range. So it's a 26.5-inch scale, which I find always interesting, not just for experimenting with various tunings, but it's also very comfy to be played. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't tried a 26.5-inch scale guitar, I highly recommend trying that out. It doesn't feel too awkward. It's actually pretty good.
Well,
yeah. And this guitar comes... Sorry,
as a guy with longer arms, those sort of extended range ones do feel good for me because they're comfortable, you know?
Yeah, I like them too. So and I mean, they come in a meaner detuning, so you're already one full step down, which is pretty cool. And again, the luminescent logo and luminescent side dots, and super cool, the upper bevel. It's kind of painted in that tropical rainforest style, so it's like a rainbow kind of thing.
Okay, so it's
that's pretty wicked.
The colors don't move as you move. That's just
not at all. No,
that's interesting.
Not at all.
I was going to ask that. Thank you for covering it.
So, and the RGD 71 ALPA is what we call the millionaire's guitar, and not just because it's so expensive, but they look like $1 million. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that's a showstopper for sure.
Yeah, as you know, I'm not a fan of overly extravagant looks, but that's not something for me. Looks alone, it's definitely not. But I can see that it's been selected and it's been made to look like that. It doesn't look cheap in any way, and I'm scared of how much that might cost. But that's certainly that's an instrument that I expect someone to really be playing. You know, I can't really call that a guitar. I call that an instrument.
Yeah, it's a tool.
Yeah,
a precision tool.
Yes,
that's for sure. Yeah. And just briefly tackling prices. I mean, Axiom label range is always a little bit above the 1K threshold. The RGD 61 ALA clocks in at $1099,
and the 7,
so 1,100 squid. And the 7-string, the RGD 71 ALPA, is $1399. And for that price point, you get a lot of bang for the buck. So this guitar is basically what a lot of people already know, because the RGD line, especially in that format, is not completely new, but it's been revamped for 2021. And you got a sandwich body that consists of a Niado kind of foundation. Then you've got some ash on top of that. And then again, you've got the very vibrant poplar barrel top. Beautiful Makassar ebony fretboard with those kind of offset dots. You've got the jumbo Sub-Zero frets, and what is so special about this guitar, you've got the bare knuckle aftermath pickups. And the aftermath pickups, they come in that camo finish, which is some kind of special variation of the aftermaths, and that just perfectly fits the poplar top. I really like the look of that instrument.
Now that I know that, because I'm looking at the same screen everybody's looking at, but my eyes have started to go a bit blurry after all these specs. Now that I know they got the aftermath in there, now I'm more into that guitar. So yeah, now I get it. I was a bit thrown at the beginning, but those pickups are wonderful for that style of music. Now let's go to the other 7-string.
Yeah, RGD 7521 PB. That's a little bit more affordable model. That comes in a beautiful deep seafloor fade flat finish. And that's not part of the Axiom label range, so it's just part of the standard range. Comes with a Jatoba fretboard, Wizard 2-neck, made from roasted maple. And of course, one of the key features here is of the poplar barrel top, because this is very, very attractive. But again, we are talking about $799 as a price point. At that price point, you already get high-end pickups from DiMarzio. So we've got the PAF7 in there. And these were the go-to pickups like in the Korn days and beyond that. When everyone started playing 7-strings, I think this is when they went for DiMarzio PAF7. So it's not a cheap pickup, and it's a cool instrument with all you could wish for basically from that guitar. 26.5 scale. Niato body that is quite lightweight, poplar barrel top. Yeah. If you're on the hunt for a 7-string that's got a different look and is not just black, I would definitely try that one. That's pretty cool.
The name is very clever because that's exactly what it looks like.
You know?
Yeah. Well done.
At Ibanez, we're all magicians. We're all magicians. You know immediately what you're getting.
Unless it's a blue one, because then it's green, or if it's green, then it's blue. But that's a good color. I wonder.
I really like the finish. Actually, the deep seafloor fade flat finish. I think there was the seafloor flat was introduced on the electric headless basses in 2020. So I kind of really like how those finishes get shifted around from basses to guitars, and sometimes you get finishes on Tama drum kits as well that kind of match guitars or basses from previous years. So this is kind of interesting to see how those kind of trendy finishes are kind of borrowed.
Don't waste a nice innovation. I also like. Correct, I'm going to try and say it. Deep seafloor fade flat. That is difficult to say, and I have to applaud you, Dan, as a non-native English speaker, to be I can't even speak English properly. To be pronouncing deep seafloor fade flat. Mind blowing. That's the only downside I can see of that color.
Next page, please.
Alrighty.
There we are, and on the top left we see a new model.
Let me just pop off and pick something up. I'm back with guitar, and before you go into specs or anything like that, how do you make this thing so light? I have never held such a light guitar. There's nothing in it.
The shape is so unique. I mean, you've got artists like Nita Strauss that would never ever play another guitar because they are just perfectly balanced and they're so lightweight. And this is what the S series really is about. Yeah.
It's super thin. Not super thin, but thin. But contoured, so it's not just. It feels like there's some work has gone into choosing the actual shape. Put the guitar between the mic and me then. But yeah, it's super light. In the review, of course, I will put it on a strap and all that sort of stuff. I really dig this switch.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot. That little plastic. Is it plastic? Yeah, plastic surround.
Yep. That's actually a necessity. I mean, that's quite like a polarizing point because some people are not too much into having that kind of plasticky thing on top of the body. But, you got to understand the construction. When they designed the model in 1986, 87, they kind of modeled it from clay. So, and the idea was to have a rather thick middle and then to kind of have the body shape thin out to the sides, and this is what the magic is about. So the middle is almost the same thickness as an RG, but towards the sides it's very thin, and this is what makes the guitar so light. Yeah, you can see it here very nicely.
Yes.
So
look at that. It's tiny.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to plugging this one in. This was I can't say the most exciting, but the one that I have no idea. I've never played a guitar like this before. I don't know much about the model or the history, but thank you for sending this one over because I certainly will be able to get some interesting reactions to how it sounds and feels. Taking a look at the specs, pickup selection, great pickup selection. I wanted to know what the neck was made of. Where does it say? Roasted maple neck. Really? It's so dark.
Yeah. A roasted maple neck. You've got a rosewood fretboard. So rosewood is back again. And you've got a beautiful flame maple top. And I really dig that natural flat finish. It just oozes class. Yes. It's not, they could have applied any color, but I really like those reduced looks and the matching headstock, of course. So that's pretty cool. And again, like you mentioned, with the tone zone pickups in the bridge position and 2 true velvets in the middle of the neck, you can't go wrong with that. No. And again, we're talking about a good price point. So this guitar clocks in at $799, and this is also the reason why we did not go for a tremolo.
Right.
So instead, we go for a fixed bridge, so to make it a really reduced guitar. And instead of adding another €100 for on the retail price for adding a locking trem, we just went, okay, this will be fixed bridge, gold hardware to be matching to the natural finish, and just like super cool addition to the lineup. SEW, the SEW stands for Saber or S line. Saber was the original name, but there were some copyright infringements or trademark infringements from Music Man, who obviously had a bass that was called Saber. So it's since then only called the S. And then the EW stands for exotic wood. So in the past, we already had quite a few exotic wood models. And this maple is not too exotic, but it's still, with the flame maple grain, looks very, very classy.
I will urge anyone who's looking at that photo that it looks better, and much, much better in the flesh than it does on that photo. And the photo makes the body looks a bit wonky, like not quite like as beautifully contoured as that is. So it looks better in the flesh.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which kind of goes for everything.
But that's already tradition, that you can barely capture those kind of flashy finishes that Ibanez is renowned for. To capture those on a sheet of paper in 4-color print or something, it's just almost impossible. Yeah. All right, next page, please.
Next page.
What else do we have? Is there anything that catches your eye?
Yes. Very much so. It could be perhaps. Oh, I've clicked the wrong button. It could be this one, maybe. I should probably pop off and come back in a second. Sit down. There we go. I have that guitar, and I need to draw attention firstly to the thing that I didn't notice from the photo, and that is the extremely ornate binding. Let's go to this page. There we go. Look at that binding on there. And I didn't see it from the photos because I was too blown away by the violin finish. I love this sort of tobacco violin, vintage Voss finishes. And I didn't see it. I didn't see the binding. So I know you're looking at other things, such as this classic-looking Ibanez bridge, which I'm sure Dan knows the name of.
I think it's called the Gibraltar Performer Bridge.
Thank you very much.
So it's an old kind of bridge style that dates back to the 80s and even before that.
It's kind of mandolin looking, you know. I really like it. But there's a big chunk of metal there as well. You know, that's quite thick. So I'm really enjoying that. It's not just like a little ornate thing. It seems to have a function. And then as we go up, we've got some wonderful blocks, which are my favorite inlays, and then quite a substantial neck. Not forgetting the fact that it's a semi-hollow, right? With obviously an F hole.
Semi-hollow. Yeah,
but this is hollow under here as well. But there's no F hole.
A little bit, yeah.
So the tone doesn't fall out at the bottom as it would.
No. It doesn't. It also doesn't cause too much feedback issues, because with full hollow models, sometimes you have some issues there. So instead, we try to reduce a little bit of the body weight, but not leaving those kind of holes open. So it's like a semi-hollow construction. Yeah, I like the 80s style headstock. That kind of
Does that have a name? Headstock. Does it have a specific name? That kind of headstock, or a nickname or something?
If I put him on the spot here, that probably has a name, but I'm not sure. No.
Okay. Let us know in the comments.
Let's call it just stairs.
The stairs. I really like it because it's got like this mix of old 80s Ibanez.
Yep.
But also it's kind of as if PRS have been looking at this recently. There's a PRS vibe to it.
That's exactly what I thought, because especially the top has a lot of three-dimensional look to it. It doesn't look cheap.
No.
You know, I mean, it's not necessarily a cheap guitar, but I really like that in that price point you get a very expensive looking top.
When you say that price point, how much is this?
That should be $799.
Really?
$749. Sorry, $749. Yeah. And like you said, it comes with two Super 85 pickups, 58 pickups. Sorry, and Gibraltar Performer Bridge. You've got the flame maple top. You've got a Okume body, medium frets on the jojoba fretboard. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this instrument. It's very classy, and especially what is so special about is the tri-sound switches. So you've got those kind of switches that you really got to...
Let's go back to that. There we go. There's the switches. What do they do?
They give each humbucker 3 different sounds. So basically, it just expands the guitar's versatility. It's not said that each and every sound is useful in every musical situation, but if you're looking for a specific sound, especially if you're wandering between several genres, you have more in your pockets that you can pull out, basically. So it widens your repertoire. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I mean,
now we're talking price point on this guitar. That's kind of the prices you're paying for Epiphone guitars these days. There are certain models that are now what we call the standard Epiphone models. That's in that price range, and that's a little bit different. And I like things a little bit quirky, a little bit different. It's a very obvious choice for someone who wants to rock. and do some classic rock, but it's a little bit quirky. I like it a lot. I'm really digging that. What was the fretboard again?
That's Jatoba.
Jatoba. So yeah, that's a very interesting guitar. Price, did you say $799 or $899?
$749.
$749.
Actually.
Beg your pardon. The black also looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think that's very
and the black
classy.
is also a little bit less expensive. It's $699 because it doesn't sport the flame maple top.
See, I really might be more into the black. I did say to you not to send me the black one because on my channel the color doesn't show up very, very well. But yeah, that's a great guess. I could easily be playing that in a classic rock band instead of say a Les Paul or something like that. That's nice.
Yep.
But I kind of, there's just quickly on the AR420, I like that a lot. I like the pickup switch position on that. So yeah, I'm digging the 520, and I really look forward to making the video. And you can watch it by clicking subscribe.
And hitting the bell button.
And smashing it down, destroying that bell button. However, there is another guitar on this page that I also have, and it is possibly one of the most exciting guitars that we can talk about. It's this Geo. So let me go and grab it, and then we can talk through the specs and have a look at it. Dan, Mr. Ibanez, Dr. Dan, I have a prediction for you. You better make a lot of these because you're going to sell so many.
I hope so, because I'm super into that guitar. It's flashy, and I'm super into reverse headstocks, and it reminds me a lot of the old Mike Weichert signature model. We had that limited run for German guitar player Mike Weichert from Heaven Shall Burn, and this guitar is pretty much in the same style, except for it has reversed shark fin inlays, which is even cooler. It's got a reverse headstock that is in matching finish. And apart from that, it's just a super cool-looking beginner's guitar. It's got a maple neck, a bound purple heart fretboard with jumbo frets, so very easy to play.
Yep.
Again, it's got an Okume body, which is widely used even on much, much more expensive guitars. And it's got cool-looking Ibanez pickups. I think these are the Ibanez 6 pickups, so like Ibanez OEM kind of pickups. Okay pickups, but definitely would be like an option to change them against like more modern and more three-dimensional pickups, so to say, if you want to up the ante a little bit. But like, what is the key argument for this guitar is the build quality in comparison to what you pay for. I mean, we are charging $249 for this instrument, and I don't know how much quality time.
How much?
$249. Yeah. I know it's super inexpensive. It's almost cheap, so to say. But I don't want to use the word cheap in combination with this model, because it's not cheap at all. Neither the looks are cheap nor the build quality. And like I said, I don't know how much quality time you already have spent with this guitar, but I'm stoked. Like, we started last year with the GRX40 that were incredible guitars that could have been sold for several €100 more. And again, this GR221 with the purple top, the build quality is just beyond what you would expect at that price point.
Yeah, the price is great. I haven't spent that much time with it. I sat with it. It feels very comfortable. I could certainly see me recommending this, as we talked about in the podcast recently, was about recommending guitars for beginners and guitars. This looks cool, but doesn't have a high maintenance trem system. So, so I was always talking about recommending the Telly, and I was kind of looking for a guitar that I could recommend that looked a bit more metal, a bit more showy-offy, a bit more not so traditional as a Telly. And this very well could be it. I don't know yet. Haven't plugged it in. Haven't demoed it fully. But just from the looks alone, the feel, the neck, it's beautiful. It's beautiful satin sort of finish. It just is very, very comfortable to play, Dan. Yeah, you guys have done a lot of things right with this guitar. The price is ridiculous. As I said right at the beginning of this little section, make a lot of these. I think you're going to sell a lot. And then I look forward to some more finishes. Maybe like a. I see this in pink. That would look amazing in pink.
Okay.
Or awful. I don't know.
I don't know.
One of those two. One of those two.
Usually, pink is what get likes, but black is what gets bucks.
Ah, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I'm digging that so hard. That is my joint second favorite of the bunch that you sent me.
Awesome, glad to hear. Yeah, I like it too. I really when I saw the first pictures, I was like, oh, nice. And then I saw the price and I saw the actual production sample, and I was super happy because I'm always referring to myself, and I can totally relate to a guitar starter or like let's say an advanced beginner that is beyond that kind of 60 or 80 euros Herticaster or budget bundle guitar, and really is looking for a serious instrument, but still at a reasonable price point. If your parents either don't want to spend $500 on a guitar or they can't spend so much money on it, so you want a rock solid instrument that you can even expand more, and those Geos, they are amazing, be it the Geo X40 or be it the Geo G221. I mean, those are perfect examples for good bones guitars. Yeah,
because if you're looking at that with an amp on top, with a cable, with a strap, you're still under $500 for something that's a decent setup. And that guitar feels very good out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, what if I would be like a beginner, I would probably start with this as my second guitar, and once I develop a certain kind of preference and I develop an ear, I would maybe look for some used pickups and change the pickups and maybe add some locking tuners to it on the second market, like eBay or something like that, or Reverb. And then you have a super decent instrument at 350, maybe $400, and that's just all you could ask for. And I mean, look-wise, I'm not asking for anything else than a reverse headstock, shark fin inlays, and blue color. That's just amazing.
It's a very nice looking guitar. I look forward to seeing the sales figures for those. And of course, look forward to doing my review, which will, of course, have an affiliate link underneath. No, but top marks. Great to see a guitar of that quality on that price point. And, of course, for people that watch this channel, a very good modding bass. Very, very good. Maybe or maybe not. You have to watch the full review. We don't know.
Ooh, another hottie.
Yeah, here we go. There. Go up. There we go. The grr.
Every guitar that starts with G and ends or has an R before the other G is just perfect, because it's the GR, so it's a Geo reverse headstock. Lovely. I mean, black flat finish is one of the killer finishes that we have, and this guitar is just, do you remember the FR800 in black flat finish that we had?
Yes.
That was a lovely model, and it sold in very, very good quantities. So I was thinking, okay, maybe we see a, I don't know, 600-700 euros, maybe high performance guitar that looks identical or very close to that. But nope. Our Japanese friends, they went with a guitar that clocks in at $219, and it's just
19.
I have a
19.
219, 217. Oh, 219. 219.
219.
Too many numbers. I'm not too good at numbers. No. $220. So we're going to see what the street price will be. Maybe it will be clocking in at 199 or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just I'm digging that. I've got a soft spot for those kind of beginner guitars that just look amazing. And again, the build quality is really what excites me about these guitars, because these are now like no crap instruments. They are not like plywood that you use to make a fire. These are solid and serious instruments made for beginners. And it's just what really enthuses me about these models.
I have to ask.
I would play them.
I would. I have to ask a potentially silly question here. Is that photo monochrome photo, or is that actually how the guitar looks in real life? Totally grey and black.
It is totally grey and black.
Even
Actually, it's
the
supposed to be
the fretboard.
Yeah.
I love it then.
I mean, it's a purple heart fretboard. So usually the colors, because it's a natural produce, the colors, they can vary a little bit. But basically, this is very, very dark. So it's supposed to have that kind of all blacks look. I think it's called murdered out in the States. If people are kind of modding their cars and everything is black from the seats to the tires and everything, so it kind of captures that vibe to be all black. You know, from the Ibanez logo on the reverse headstock to the shark fin, reverse shark fin inlays, to the pickguard, and of course the body color in black flat finish. I mean, I'm digging that guitar.
I'm super into it. It is something that one, like, if I can have an Andy request, that's the Andy request for the channel, because at $199 street price as a guess, I'm very intrigued. Very, very intrigued.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Let's I just want to draw attention before anybody says anything just to this red and black one, because those are my colors. And I had a little go on that one, and that was really good. Okay, for left-handed people, there's a left-handed guitar.
Yep. Also new offering, a GRG 121 DXL. It's a no-frills guitar. I mean, the walnut flat finish has been sold already widely, and you know, we're always trying to add more lefty models. So I'm very happy to see that the GRG 121 with an Okuma body and a purple heart fretboard with shark fin inlays is a cool offering for the lefties, because usually they get kind of the more boring offerings, because for a manufacturer it's more like a safe bet, because it's already a niche market for lefties. So you go with black only, and you probably go with dots instead of shark fin inlays. So seeing this model that is a little bit more flashy is a very nice move for 2021.
Price?
Not too sure about that. Let me quickly check that up. I have a smart list here that I can check, and the walnut flat one clocks in at $230, so $229.
Okay, and how does that compare? Like, take away the fact that it's a left-handed. How does that compare to, say, the other GR that we just talked about, like spec-wise? Is it roughly the same quality, and roughly the same parts?
Yeah. It's roughly the same. I mean, basically, for lefty models, we usually have to charge like $10 or $20 more, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's just like, you know, we have different quantities, so whenever we can, we try to offer like the same price, but usually it's a little bit more. But apart from that, both come with maple necks, both come with a bound purple heart fretboard, both come with jumbo frets. So also the bodywood, I think, on the black flat one is poplar. And on the 121 is Okume. So, yeah.
New finishes on the GRGM 21s. Just get a quick look so people can see them. But the main attraction on this page is that rather less than senior looking guitar. Sort of a...
What does that mean?
On the other end of senior. I was trying to be clever. It looks rather juniory. Juniory.
Juniory. Yeah. Well, the GAX30, I mean, when you started playing the guitar, I think this must have been a model that was widely around, especially in the entry-level market, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you would compare it now, it comes with some updated specs. So now you have block inlays, you have that kind of step kind of headstock that you know is a reminiscence of the 80s Ibanez guitars, so they're kind of more like a retro vibe to it. Also, if you compare it AB with the previous models, you will see that the body shaping is a little bit more contoured, so it's got more softer edges to it, which I find is a very nice touch, because it adds some softness to it. So because the bevels, they just feel very comfy. The trans cherry finish is just like one of the iconic finishes for the GX30 series.
Give me a price, Dan. Give me a price.
$229.
$229. Set neck or bolt-in neck?
That should be a set neck.
Nice. Okay, so I'm thinking that guitar, upgrading some pickups, maybe some new electronics, and you are well away with a great guitar. If you're if you're not a beginner, you want to mod something that looks cool, that would do me with some mods on it.
Yeah.
Maybe some locking tuners as well. Yeah, glad to see it. Okay. What else have we got?
Let's move on.
Moving on. Now, Dan.
We're in jazz territory. Be careful.
We're getting to a very interesting page somewhere. So there's lots of signature stuff.
But no news so far, because we have we have two artists that have anniversary next year, so stay tuned for some more news.
Yeah. I spot a new model. Artstar.
Artstar. And it's not just one model, it's actually three models. They are all in the Artstar 2000 range. And if you go to the next page, we also see not just the AF 2000, we also have the AS 2000, which is the semi-hollow Artstar model. And then we have the AM 2000, which is a smaller sized but full hollow offering in that range. And what is so special about these guitars is actually spec-wise, they're very close to their predecessors, the 200 series. But these are, I'm not sure if it's like the only guitar in the market, but definitely like the first from a major manufacturer. They are using roasted maple for the necks. And on these jazz guitars, we have two pieces of mahogany, and they are flanked to a very thick piece of roasted maple in the center for the neck. And this roasted maple is actually treated by a Japanese company that have patented the Aztec procedure, like you would find it on an AZ. So it makes that neck all very durable, very sturdy. And yeah, I think it's a nice touch to add those kind of modern technology to a more, let's say, vintage-oriented or more classic-oriented instrument. So I really like that. Again, we've got the Super 58 pickups because this is like a no-brainer on all Ibanez guitars if you're talking jazz tones. The three-piece neck that I just mentioned, a spruce top with a nigre back and sides. We have a brown ebony fretboard and beautiful retro logos, again, on the headstock. Also, we have an updated headstock on the AF and the AM 2000 model.
Quickly change the page. Oh, no! Change the page.
Yeah, there you go. So, no, this is the AS 2000, but the AM 2000 has the...
Oh, beg your pardon. Sorry, sorry, I lost concentration.
You see, again, this is the same headstock shape that we previously saw, for instance, on the GAX 30 or on the semi-hollow AR. So that's pretty cool to see those kind of motifs being repeated time and again. And also, I like that logo on the headstock because it's like one of the iconic Ibanez headstock logos.
I much prefer that headstock to that one.
Yeah, me too.
I think
I'm like a classic guy, you know.
I don't know. Just for that one, that just screams like an Epiphone kind of look. But that one looks, more unique. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. It's a classic look. But that one looks more unique for sure. And that one, you know how the eye is trained to not like Epiphone headstocks and prefer Gibson headstocks. That's what I get from that the AS2000. Whereas that one is so different. It's like, okay, it's totally different. So I'll take it. I think that's a better headstock. Okay, all right. However, if you go to the previous page, I think for the full hollow design, I think the headstock is pretty much spot on because it just adds the overall, like the massive appearance of the guitar, you know? I think that's a must on that guitar with that kind of old 80s headstock. I think it just look... Yeah, the curves. It needs the curves. It needs that fatness. And one thing I like about these guitars is the color, the name of the color. Brown Sunburst. Yeah. It's like, keep it fairly simple, right? Yeah, simple. Sunburst. Well, it's not really red, is it? It's more brown. Brown Sunburst then. Not tobacco, just brown. I dig that. Yeah, there you go. There's another one over there, another new model. Oh no, hang on, wait. Tell me prices. Tell me prices. So, as I said, these are made in Japan, so they are not inexpensive. The AF 2000 and the AS 2000, they clock in at $2,399, and the medium-sized full hollow AM 2000 clocks in at $2,499. So 2.5K. Yeah. Yep. So again, a real instrument. A real instrument, like that's definitely a pro instrument. So it's not like something that you purchase just to try out playing jazz. Yes, absolutely. Such as me. I like just a little quick nod to the AS153. I love the pick guard on that. I think that's brilliant. Okay, new model AF90, the Andy Ferris 95. Love it. So when I designed this guitar, I wanted something really fat, and I wanted it to be sunburst but brown.
Again, we're talking full hollow model, and this is so. What I find remarkable is that if you compare it to the 2.4K instrument, look-wise, the difference is not really visible to the untrained eye. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, to flash those two things in front of you, if I asked one of my family members, they'd say that's the same guitar.
Yeah. And I mean, spec-wise, of course, it's different, but I mean, we're talking about $599 retail, and you get a lot for that. You've got Macassar ebony fretboard. You have a three-piece Niato maple neck that is set in. Linden sides and linden body. You've got a spruce top. And pickup-wise, again, you have the Super 58 pickups.
Great.
So a lot of high-end specs on this guitar. Comes pre-strung with 10 to 52s for some serious jazzy tones. And these are very well made. They come from the Indonesian factory. There's nothing wrong about them. The quality right out of the box is just there. If you play it, you will have a lot of fun with them. Yep.
Do they come with flat wound strings or round wound strings?
I'm not sure. Actually, I think they come with round wound strings.
Okay,
but I might be wrong. Just don't hold me to it.
Yeah, I definitely want to throw some flat wounds on that.
Yeah.
Just you're going to get that warmth. I'm absolutely not a jazzer, and I'm not an expert on flat wounds, but I do have some guitars with flat wounds and some basses with flat wounds, and that just from the look, I want to put some flats on that and really pretend that I know some jazz chords. But I'd love to try that as a jazzer, but also, you know, just to see the huge body that would look like a normal sized guitar on me. So, quite into that one.
I'm so seeing that meme of you saying like, "Hey babe, I want to throw some flats on you," and then you have that
guitar. Deal. I'll do it for you. Let's move on.
Zoomy.
There we go. Okay, Dan.
Yes.
I have one of those. I'll go and get it.
Yeah, please.
Here it is. Before we go to any specs, I'm going to tell you that this is my favorite guitar that you've sent me.
Wow, that's a surprise.
I know it's possibly the second cheapest. So I've got the Geo, which was, I'm guessing this is more expensive than the Geo. But this, much like the pink one that I reviewed in 2020, this is a fun guitar. This has got everything I want from a semi-hollow body. Yes.
Full hollow.
Full of hollow.
Yeah. That guitar is completely hollow.
Then I have some guitars I need to compare this to then, because that, for me, that's what a 335-ish style of body should look like. But it looks, what I'm trying to say is it looks and feels more expensive than it probably is. Can you tell me how much this guitar is, please?
Yeah, that is $650.
Okay, so that is a great guitar for what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a lot more than it feels. It feels so nice. It's a satin finish. I'll let Dan tell you about it. I just wanted to give my 2 cents.
Well, I love your initial reaction because you didn't have a lot of time to spend with these guitars. So seeing your pure joy that you get out of this guitar is just very enthusing for me. And I mean, those guitars, like I said, they are not to be mistaken with semi-hollow guitars, because these are full hollow models for a reason. Because, you know, we saw more and more players that are kind of wandering between different genres, and they are mixing different styles, and you know, they're kind of creating their own recipe. So they needed an instrument that can do a lot of like percussive sounds and very kind of voluminous, very open and wide sounding tones, and also still have those kind of electric sounds. And this is what this guitar is all about. It's like a convenient catch-all, so to say. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's like a do-it-all guitar for the player that's not too fixed to just one genre.
Right.
And these AM models, that's also why we use the AM shape, because it's a rather small shape. So it can be played by players that are used to an electric guitar. It can be played by kids, children, by smaller people, but it still feels like a real professional instrument. And like I said, I mean, spec-wise, it has everything that you would expect from a guitar in that price point. because the body is made of linden. You have I think Macassar ebony fretboard that is bound. You've got a 3-piece mahogany, a 3-piece Niato maple neck that is set in. The pickups are, again, Super 58 pickups, so we're talking about the serious high-end Ibanez pickups, and all of this made in Indonesia at $650. I think that's a very good package, even if you just want to expand your arsenal.
It's a fun guitar to add, and it looks fun. The black looks gorgeous as well, I might add, but this red, the photo that I'm seeing is not what it looks like in real life. The photo looks more pinky, but this is more of a sort of British telephone box red. Yeah.
Plus, I really like that they didn't go with the glossy finish, so that we get a cherry red flat finish.
Yeah. And the binding has some kind of like grain to it. Have you seen the binding on this?
Yeah.
It's really odd. I've never seen anything like that before. Odd in a good way.
And again, it adds to the vibe. It's just it looks like not like a distressed or a kind of relic instrument, but it doesn't also look like super shiny and factory.
Yeah, we definitely can't see this on the screen, but there's like it looks like there's a grain there, which is very, very odd. But again, in a good way.
Yeah, and again, you got the tri-sound switch, so you got another tonal option to discover.
Yeah, I look forward to not knowing what that does in a video.
Yeah, just listen to your ears. I mean, like I said, it's not necessarily made to deliver tones for every situation. It's just like if you need a particular sound, you just can try it out, and maybe you find something that totally fits the bill.
Mm-hmm. And are these wooden knobs? Is it actually wood?
I'm not sure.
Because they
could be.
They look like wood, but again, looking at the way that binding is, they might not be.
Yeah, actually, I have to say I don't know for sure. I mean, it could be, but
well, they could be. They look like resin. They're certainly different. You know, they're not.
Yeah.
They're different to what you'd find on the other ones we've seen so far, and other guitars where you see the full way, the four knobs. But
they have a very good profile, so they don't slip. That's what I figured out when I played those two.
Yeah. But they're odd. But again, this is at first look. I love this guitar because it seems so classic. But now we're talking about it. Now I'm seeing these little things that are slightly different, slightly left of the norm. You know, and that. Yeah. Again, as you said, I didn't have much time to play with these guitars, but I will do. I've also noticed the little cutaways. I'll have to go into detail in my video, of course, about this, but the little cutaway behind the saddle in the bridge, so that the string doesn't vibrate on the actual bridge itself.
Details. Yeah.
I've again never noticed that before or seen that before. I'm really looking forward to playing some blues, some rock and roll, but also some fuzz pedal, and seeing how much this guitar shakes in my hands. So I think that's my.
Also,
I think it's my favorite.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Also, like the string holder. That's very kind of retro-ish.
Yeah.
It takes you back right to the 50s, right?
Yeah.
That kind of trapezoid.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
New model 12-string. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite fun.
Unique, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fun.
Would you play a guitar like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you don't have a semi-hollow 12-string yet, right?
I don't have a 12-string, and I certainly don't have a semi-hollow 12-string. But yeah, that's fun. Because normally for me, when I hear 12-string electric, I hear jangly kind of sounds, you know. But that's two humbuckers, which are classic elites, are not known for being that jangly. Mm-hmm. That's going to sound very interesting.
No, I like it too because it's a nice offering, and I think it's $489. So sub 500 euros.
Oh, wow.
It's also nice if you just want to try out a semi-hollow vibe, but with some added shimmering from the 6 additional strings.
That's going to have some great sounds to it. I'm very intrigued by that. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Oh, new finish on the AS73, the red one?
Yep. Yeah, we added the TCD, the trans cherry red finish on a couple models. Also on the we have some trans red finish on the 53 models too, because red is just such a classic color. And I
Absolutely.
also like the trans red flat on these, on the AS53s.
Sure.
Again, all of these, it really comes down to the budget, but all of these guitars, they provide maximum bang for the buck. And I think Ibanez is pretty renowned for that. Because a lot of people, they only connect Ibanez with being a metal brand, but looking at artists like George Benson, John Scofield, Pat Metheny, those kind of guys, I mean, that relation dates back so many years, and Ibanez was already a well-established jazz player, basically. So I'm super happy to see that there are still a lot of offerings, and very good offerings, for the entry-level players, for the next generation of jazzers. Not me, not you, probably.
Not yet. Maybe one day. Okay, we've got a left-handed new model. Forgive me, left-handed people, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that one, because I'm not going to say it's just a left-handed model, but this model already exists. It's now in left-handed, and yeah, there it is. Do you mind if I move on, Dan? Is it okay?
No. All good.
Good. Okay. Now we've gone too far.
Oh, sorry.
Let's go back.
Let's
go back and talk about the left-handed model. I am not qualified to cover bases in this video.
I know. We can just
let's just flip through it.
Flip through it, yeah.
And skip through it, yeah. So there's a bass, some more basses. There's a new model. Don't switch off. We're not going to be talking about basses too much. La 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 la. More basses. New model there. There we go. There's a bass. Oh, it's Panga Panga. That was worth looking at.
Yeah, and that's one of the sexiest finishes. That's Magic Wave Low Gloss, and we've seen that quickly at the beginning of the segment. That's one of the coolest finishes, because it's an ash top that is sandblasted, and then it's finished in that kind of purple black. So you've got all the purple in those kind of the segments of the wood, and on the clear top you've got the black finish. So it's kind of gets that kind of wavy look to it, The
BTB 818, that's a crazy looking bass. I actually refuse to have that on the channel. That's it. What bass player needs that long horn over there? I don't know. What does that do?
I think it creates a good balance.
Yeah,
and it's a cool look.
I kind of like it.
It gives like the perfect curvature if you go from the top horn to the lower horn.
Yeah, I'll give you
see
that. All right, I was wrong. There's a new model. So that's like a PJ sort of look.
Yep, and these are medium scale. So you've got like 32-inch as a scale. So it's a nice bass, not just for rehearsing, but also if you play on the couch, or if you just want a bass that's a little bit more comfy, especially if you're a smaller person. That's pretty cool.
There's another funny looking one up there. BTB
6-string.
Six. Right, now we're getting silly, Daniel. There's a 7-string. Right. If I find an 8-string,
not new, but we have it. Yeah.
Is there an 8-string?
Well, we had different offerings, like the Ashula basses that had like a fretless segment and fretted segment. So the Bass Workshop basically always tries to create something that is usually only provided from luthiers at extraordinary prices, but they try to make it like more accessible, between 1,000 and 1,500 euros.
Sure.
So there'll always be more and crazy stuff, and it's pretty cool to see that.
As a quick apology to bass players and people thinking I'm disrespecting basses, I'm not. I'm just so underqualified to talk about them. It's not right. You need to go and watch a different channel. But the RGB 300 series, please give me a price on that, Dan. And I'll talk about the Toba fretboard with shark tooth inlays, medium frets, dynamics, P and J. So that's a great set of pickup configurations. I just need to know how much it is.
Yeah, it's 319 for the 4-string and 349 for the 5-string.
Okay.
Very inexpensive.
And that's not street price, okay? So we'll probably be expecting 299 and 329, something like that. Who knows? You obviously can't say, but I'd be expecting that to be at that price. Interested to see those. I'd like to see those being played around. There's the 5-string version we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Actually, I could do the 5-string in my arsenal. I might have to take a look at that at some point.
Yeah.
And play it terribly. Acoustic Land, Acoustic World, Ibanez Acoustic. I have one. It's the one with the really wide neck. I really enjoy it. However, Dan, I can't ask people to look at acoustics in this video. We're covering a lot of ground here, and I think we could come back to this at some other point. However, you said that there was one model you wanted to check out on the first page.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's the John Gomm signature guitar. And it's such a pleasure to see John Gomm join the Ibanez artist roster. And I think they created more than 30 prototypes with him.
Wow.
And this is the final signature guitar that he went with. And it's pretty wicked because it's got that asymmetrical shape to it. So basically the cutaway, well, not the cutaway, but the
bout
kind of where it sits, the bow where it sits on the leg is actually asymmetrical, so you get a better access, and the guitar sits in a perfect position. We've got a new headstock shape. We have a specifically designed pickup system. I think it's 4 different pickups with a dual output, thermo-aged, solid Sitka spruce top, mahogany Palfero neck, Macassar Ebony fretboard, of course. It's like, the do-it-all guitar for John, and it was so cool to see that he went for this particular guitar, and it's actually part of the Platinum collection, which will be a made in China high-end acoustic guitar. And this is not, usually made in China instruments are labeled as kind of cheap, but this factory that does all those guitars, it's like top level. They have all the modern machinery. They have experts when it comes to kind of lutherie of acoustic instruments, and this is where all the high-end kind of Chinese guitars from Ibanez will be made in the future. And the John Gomm model is like the top-notch model in this line. And I mean, if an artist like John decides to go for a signature guitar that's made in China, I think this is a strong sign, because he's playing that exact same guitar.
Okay, that was an obvious question. When it always kind of irks me when artists don't play the actual signature guitar, and I know that sometimes you want to upgrade a few things, but that makes a big difference. That's also going to put a lot of confidence in that guitar.
Actually, it would be interesting to ask John a couple questions about his guitar when he's in the podcast.
Absolutely, I forgot. 26th of January, we'll talk about the John Gomm signature because John's on the podcast. Yeah.
And we'll be talking about his musical approach. He'll be talking about how the guitar came along, and what his specific requirements were, and actually also why he decided to go with Ibanez and create a completely new guitar from scratch. So if you have any questions that you want us to ask John, leave them in the comments.
Let's go back to the woodiness. And then, because I believe. So I think the Talman Acoustic is one of the craziest looking guitars I've ever seen in my life. I saw one.
Actually, it's also
whoops.
Very well selling model. I always underestimated how many of these guitars are being bought from people.
Crazy. I think it's brilliant. I love the surfy finishes. Those are good. Acoustic basses. Oh my God, we've really got deep now. Mandolins and ukuleles, and I love them, but I probably get told off for putting them on the channel. Okay, now we're back in safe, solid ground. So we've got some new pedals.
Yes.
And when I say we, I mean I, because I have those 2 exact pedals in my studio right now, or in my studio storage. No, they're not here. The booster first. So firstly, Dan, thank you for sending me a booster to demo. Cheers. Here it is, and here it is a bit louder. But I'll have some fun with that. And the phaser, of course, I've already played them both. I'm not going to give too much away, but I enjoyed the playing. What I really enjoy is the design on them. I love the font choice, and I know that isn't the most important thing, but it kind of is, how it looks. And with mini pedals, they can tend to look cheap. And when you just have them in that standard mini enclosure, but the way you guys have gone for this kind of mini tube screamer enclosure makes it look more classy.
Yeah.
I haven't really tested the booster as much as I can, but the phaser I had a lot of fun with. Video coming out soon, of course.
These are made in Japan, so a lot of R&D goes into developing those kind of pedals that have, these are not one-trick ponies, because you've got, like, on the booster, you've got bass and treble, and on the phaser, you've got two different stages, like 4-stage and stage 6, and you've got depth feedback and speed that you can dial in. So it's basically a very, like, let's say, complex design in a very narrow box, and it's true bypass and made in Japan, and still has to be very competitive in terms of price. So it takes some time to create those kind of pedals. And I got to say, for instance, the booster, if you look in the inside, the innards of it, it's incredible how much thought has to go into the development of that specific pedal, which chipset you choose and which OPs, and it's just it's crazy. I wouldn't expect so much R&D that goes into a 99 euros or 119 for the phaser pedal. Yep.
Then I will open it up. It's something I need to do in my videos, is have a look inside the pedals. But
yeah, please.
Again, I know that's not new, but why is it not clicking? There, the analog delay. I love the design. It's so subtle. The little font. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, but when I open the box and the flanger, which is actually just on top of that katana up there, love the design. However, Dan, I've never tried that fuzz. Just saying.
Oh. We should probably change that pretty soon.
Yeah. There's some more stuff, some clip-on tuners. Is there a mug in this catalog? If there's a mug in this catalog, we're going to have a falling out. Or
nope.
Okay, good. Cables, bags and cases.
Bags. Yeah.
Gotta have a bag and a
cool
case.
Bags and straps, because we have different colors, and we basically cover everything. We have ukulele bags. And,
those are nice.
Yeah. Designer straps and jeans look, for instance. It's pretty cool. But we have something very specific, very cool at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. Picks, strings.
There's, just so you know, everybody, there's the best multi-tool that you can buy. Buy one of those if you don't have one, or buy a guitar that includes it. Get a free guitar.
And actually, sneaky peeky, we're going to launch a limited edition of these multi-tools pretty soon. So that will also be interesting. It will be a collector's item if you can grab a new color every couple months.
All right, tell me.
And there we are.
Oh. He says,
We have, and isn't that cool? The ICT-10 RG, it's the Ibanez Cup Coaster.
Wow, Dan. I am blown away. But actually, as you mentioned it, look, this is my Johnny Cash cup coaster, which I broke the first one of on a podcast recently. I've just recently chipped that one. So, I do see reasons to have. I'm going to guess they're made of some kind of high quality tone wood resin, or maybe
I don't know.
Maybe tone plastic.
Yeah, some plastic, or I haven't even tried them out, but I think that will be a pretty cool present next Christmas time for any Ibanez fan.
Yeah, I think that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's just take a quick look at the t-shirts.
Some new finishes.
Bar stools. More to come soon. Are you nuts?
Yeah, we talked about that already.
All right.
Cross your calendar. January 17th.
Yeah.
We'll have much more to be added to the catalog. It will be exciting.
Oh, no. That means we're going to come back and do more. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we made it through. I'm sorry that's an exceedingly long video, but there's even more to come soon.
Yep.
I hope that some people watching this have gained some maybe not knowledge, but certainly some passion and desire to actually try out some of these guitars. Dan, thank you again. I know it's kind of weird talking to you this way because you're Ibanez Dan right now, and normally when we're talking, you're my friend Dan that we do the podcast with. Get off! And when you talk Ibanez on the podcast, I penalize you, and I like you a little bit less every time you mention the I word. And joking, of course, I have great fun on the podcast, and we do generally. But it was great to actually dedicate some time to talk Ibanez because that's your job and your passion, and in the guitar world, we deserve good guitars. And it seems like 2021 rather than like 2020 completely ruining the guitar world, it seems like companies such as Ibanez have put some extra work in and said, right, let's buckle down and make some good guitars. I guarantee you that the ones I have will be very interesting, and I actually want to go and play this one right now, but I can't because I've got to edit the video and do that thing called sleep. But Dan, I'll let you have some final Ibanez words and tell people what to expect in 2021 before we sign off.
Oh, well, that's a tough one. First of all, thanks for having me on the channel in my role as the Ibanez brand manager for Ibanez Germany. And thanks to everyone who watched the whole video. Also, thanks to everyone who maybe just skipped through the video or was just watching it at 1.5 or 2.0 times the speed. I think 2021 is a very interesting year, and we always have a lot of new models, a lot of fancy colors, but what is most important for Ibanez, and this is really a mission for us, is that we kind of spark the interest and spark the enthusiasm about playing the guitar. And this is really what it's all about. And if Ibanez can contribute just a little bit to kind of pass the torch to the next generation and keep the electric guitar and electric bass alive, it will be our pleasure, and it will be like mission accomplished on our side. So again, thanks for playing the guitar. Enjoy. I hope you find your Ibanez guitar or your guitar from another manufacturer in 2021 if you're on the hunt for a new guitar. Expect some great videos on Andy's channel. Expect some great videos on other channels too, because we've been spreading all the samples, and yeah, I think we'll see some super cool videos in 2021. Again, subscribe to Andy's channel, subscribe to the Guitar Stories podcast if you haven't, because we always have a blast whenever we talk gear news and talk with our guests. Yeah, and that's basically it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for bringing out the podcast, because I will say that if you found this video by looking for Ibanez stuff, then come and check the podcast out, because we do have some fun, and the people that watch and join us live are absolute beautiful people, and it's a really nice place to hang out, and it's my pleasure to have that podcast on this channel. So again, you know, we have fun. Come and join us, do it. Ibanez, thank you for making some apparently great guitars. We don't know yet. I haven't reviewed them. They look nice. We'll have to find out. So look for my Ibanez playlist on the channel. Click subscribe if you haven't done already, and that's it. Thank you for hanging around and watching the video.
We're out.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. There were some true surprises for me in there. I hadn't seen that catalogue either. Thank you to Dan and Ibanez for sharing that with us. Dan and I are back with a podcast every week on Tuesdays, live on my YouTube channel. I will see you there. Otherwise, there are other videos you can watch on the screen right now, so go and check those out and sub to the channel and all that. Happy 2021. See you soon. Bye.